it's a stable environment, but I don't know how safe the environment is.
Yeah, I don't
If
know.
that makes
Yeah, let's
sense.
just say for the sake of argument, let's call it stable. I mean, they're definitely not safe people to be around.
Yeah, definitely stable, not safe.
Not safe.
Um, so
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Herbal Synergies, the shop. I'm your host, Sinji. With me, as always, my co-host, Irby. Oh,
that's enough. Enough applause. Enough applause, crowd. Let's get this thing started.
you're a douchebag. Yeah, clapping.
I thought that'd be funny, so I
Okay,
did it.
yeah, it caught. It was definitely like it caught me off guard. It's like, oh, are we clapping now?
Yeah, they was clapping. I was like, let's get this thing started, peoples.
You got a flavor this week, dog?
I don't know.
Oh, trust me,
I
I know.
I know. I think the one that stuck out was probably Tours. Just whooping everyone while they was trying to board their ship.
I didn't even use a sword either. He just like
He
knocked everyone
didn't. It
out.
just straight fisticuffs, just pow, pow, pow. It's like, ooh, okay.
The other two guys got excited.
Yeah, I don't know. If one was looked like he kind of shaking from fear, and the other one looked like he was like, yeah, I want to fight this man.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that was probably the most noteworthy one. And some the jutsu, that whole thing, I was like, oh no, oh yeah,
Uno, yeah. And
yeah.
then to be
You ever read
continued.
it?
No.
No. Dang. Well, I ain't gonna spoil it for you.
No, I read it.
Oh, you said you ain't. You said no, and I was like, oh,
No,
which
no,
one?
it's to be continued. No.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah. My
yeah.
my flavor is coming out of the
I didn't ask
newest.
you what your flavor was.
Oh, my bad.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
My flavor came out of the newest season of Baki. I think it's Baki Hanma. There's like a couple different ones. But it is Baki versus Pickle. Are you watching Baki, by the way?
No,
Okay, so you probably won't care if I spoil this. Spoiler
I
alert.
might care.
My man Baki fell from 90 feet in the air. A lot of serious damage, but like he was standing up anyway to like give a facade that he's okay. And Pickle, the prehistoric apex predator that was hunting T-Rexes, that they unfroze and he's well and everyone wants to fight him. The only catch is he's used to eating the opponents he defeats, so it's like now it's kind of cannibalism, but Pickle sensed that Baki was hurt, so he was taking pity on him. I forgot how he was doing it, but it was pissing Baki off. So Baki went up when he was still injured and then jumped from 90 feet in the air again and proceeded to whoop Pickle's ass in the fight, finding out how he can do it because he couldn't like put his strength into it because his body was like too hurt. So he's finding other ways to like beat Pickle, and then like when he was gonna win, for some reason, man got cocky, like he was on his Goku shit, and it was just like, all right, now that I've proved I can beat you, let's just slug this out. And I was like, no, no, Baki, no, he's clearly still stronger than you physically. The man's like almost 7 feet tall, and he fought dinosaurs for a living. I don't think you want to go toe to toe with this. Whatever, it was good. It was a good fight.
Interesting.
Yes, indeed.
Very interesting.
So, in what order would you like to talk about these, Irby?
Well, I guess we start off with some Buddy Daddy, then some Deep Insanity, to the Aristocrats.
I
I
think I'm.
finished it up with Vinland.
I think I'm replacing Deep Insanity. I don't think I care for Deep Insanity too much.
I'm too invested now, baby.
You're invested?
No.
Okay. I was like, oh, that's cool. You can watch it. You don't even have to press pause anymore. Finish
You're
it.
right. Yeah. So
There's is if, to me like I'll watch it eventually, but to me there's just too many good things out right now for me to like force myself to watch something for another, let's say, 8 weeks, 9
8 weeks.
weeks.
I think it was only like 12 episodes.
Yeah, 9 weeks. I'm sorry,
Yeah. We're on like episode
3.
trace.
Yeah.
You
So I'll come
say
up with
no.
something to replace that.
You might.
You said you do have Netflix, right?
Nah.
No?
Nope.
Do you have Amazon Prime?
Nope.
Um, do you have? Those are the only other two things I would watch something that's not Crunchyroll. So I'll just find something on Crunchyroll.
Crazy.
Okay, Buddy Daddies. Are you sure Buddy Daddies? Not
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're all one and the same. Yeah. Buddy Daddy, season 1, episode 10. Lost at Sea. Is that the right one? Oh yeah. So the daycare has to come up with songs to sing because it's Christmas time. And Miss Anna, she's trying to sing Silent Night, but she is sounding like nails on a chalkboard or a chicken being slaughtered, whichever one you want to use, because it was awful. I think I could have did a little better myself, and I am terrible.
mm.
But yes. Then we find out that Miri she could sing it. And she was like, "Oh," she said, "I know this song." She started singing it, and she upstaged her. I was like, "Ooh, I know how that's gonna go down." But then
Teacher was
we
horrible.
flashed, yeah, we flashed outside, and Miri's mother's there, and she's like, "Oh, I came back to talk to Miri," and I'm like, "Man, like, why is she there? How does she know?" I was like, "How does she know where she is?" And which that question gets answered later. But yeah. But Mary, she gets out and she runs to Mama, and I'm like, "No, you just betrayed everything that those men have did for you. Ah,
She don't know nothing about nothing, dog.
why would you do that? Ah." But no, it was fine. I had to do something. But yeah, Kazuki was taken aback. He was hurt. So before that, they were yelling, arguing in the street. Now they're like, "Oh, let's just go back to our place so we can talk this out like adults." And they start discussing some stuff, and then Mireille is like, "Oh, I want Hamburg steak," and then it gets made. And this was an instance where I thought that she had a little ascot on, and I was like, "Oh, something neck related." And I definitely thought that she had got her like neck slice. And I was like, "Man, that's Kazuki caused her to get her neck sliced," but it turned out she had like throat cancer and she can't sing anymore. And it spread to the rest of her. Well, not to the rest of her, spread somewhere where she doesn't have much time. But she's like, "I want to spend the rest of my time rebuilding my life with Miri."
My thing is, all right, you knew you were a shitty parent, and maybe because this kid doesn't think you're a shitty parent, it's okay for you to decide you
Up
want to
and
be a
stick it.
part of
Yeah.
this kid's life. But like,
Yeah,
if
because
you,
children don't know.
what's up?
That's the children don't know.
Yeah, no,
They
she doesn't know. Mitty doesn't
yeah.
know. So like, maybe it's okay that you decided, all right, I've been shitty. I actually want this relationship with my daughter now because I realize now that I'm at my lowest, I realize where the light in my life was. But like, ho, first of all, you knew you were shitty. Second of all, you know you don't have a lot of time left in this world. Why don't you, instead of just trying to straight up take her way, just try to spend time with her while she stays where she is? That is a, let's, for the sake of the argument, say a stable environment. And then when you up and vanish again, she'll be straight because she was with them anyway. And she was
Yeah, I think
straight when you
it's
just shipped
yeah.
her off by herself.
Yeah. I would say it was I say yeah, it's one of those ones where she could just spend the time. But yeah, I was like, interesting.
Hell,
I was supposed to come back there.
she can use Ray's room because apparently he likes to sleep in the bathtub.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's a stable environment, but I don't know how safe the environment is.
Yeah, I don't
If
know.
that makes
Yeah, let's
sense.
just say for the sake of argument, let's call it stable. I mean, they're definitely not safe people to be around.
Yeah, definitely stable, not safe.
Not safe.
Um, so
Where it's probably the other way around with her. She's like not stable, but she's probably safe.
yeah, so so then they start talking, and she's like, "I know about the work you two are involved in." I was like, "How do you know this? Like, who's telling the secrets?"
Where are you getting your information?
Yeah. And then we found out that Q told her like everything.
So you bastard.
Yeah. Was it Rio Ogano? He's like, yeah, the guy's athlete. He's like, he took the photo, and but yeah, he Q. I can respect it because it's like, oh, you got to take him in there. Like, she'd be safer. And I'm like, I understand that. Um, but yeah. So then they end up taking Mireille on the town, and they can do all these fun activities like rock climbing, ball pits, jumping through, and Ray can climb like a lizard. I'm like, man, he's pretty good. And then they're going to a meeting. I think they're going to meet her mother, and it's a setup to get rid of Mireille. Sad. And then they share food together, some more, and they go have some more fun. And Kazuki recounts the time that Ray said it was well, no, Ray talks to Kazuki, and Kazuki reminds Ray of how it. Remember that cat that we had to let go? It's like, yeah, it's best to leave it alone. I'm like, huh? Not to bring another living thing into the life we live.
Petty ass.
Yeah. And then they ride the Ferris wheel, and then they hand Miri over. It's the trio for right now. So that was it.
That
Pretty
was
much
it.
all. Not much there.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Did you say
Little
that was
snooze
episode 10?
fest. Yeah.
Yes.
Lost to sea.
All right, so we're coming across that climax, and
I'm be like two more episodes, baby. We be there,
we're gonna be there. Yeah, you're right.
or we be square.
You wanna instead of immediately replacing my show, you wanna just bang out the last two episodes next week?
Maybe, but that's another discuss for off the air.
Let's
Let's
do it.
continue.
Okay. Deep Insanity. Also, like this could have very well been the first topic because honestly, whatever. Episode 3, take 3. Okay. Shigure is thinking about the assassination mission that he was given to or offered to by I think Vera, right?
Yeah,
Vera.
I don't know.
Okay. Thanks for the
Let
help,
me
Herb.
look. You're good, dog.
And he
You
was
got
thinking,
it, King.
yeah, he
Ball
was thinking,
out.
he was thinking about it, and Larry wanted to pick his brain, but it was top secret, so like Shigure couldn't really share. Larry invited Shigure to hang out with the crew on their off day, so they did that, and like them hanging out is just really them going to one spot and then splitting up, which Shigure ended up hanging out with Larry. I will say that at some point a political meeting was shown, and some dude was talking about like the world's gonna experience the six biggest mass deaths in the world, and he was like it's an opportunity to change the definition of humanity. And I didn't really get much out of that other than that. But while they separate, Leslie looks at the girls' outfits and like, you know, you can show more skin. I can show you how. Blah blah blah. I was like, oh man, Leslie, he's a little tramp.
Is he though?
No, probably not. But while Shigure and Larry were hanging out, some guys were roughing up this dude, and Larry went to intervene, but like kind of let Shigure do the work, where Shigure just laid all three of them out, and the guy who they were helping is actually a drug dealer, and he sells the materials found inside the asylum. But his dealer died, and they like showed a flashback. So I think it was the guy we saw die the first episode, maybe. But it could have just been a random flashback as well. So short meeting, short conversation. Leslie decides that they're willing to go into the asylum and get the parts from the flower for him. While they're doing that, the crew shows up and they're looking for Shigure and Leslie, and Larry, because they agreed to meet up at a certain time and they were being late, so they did their own investigating. Larry and Shigure are in the asylum and they're walking around and they come across this girl, and Larry's trying to like get her attention, but like Shigure's like, no, shoot, go. It's dangerous for you over here. Um, the Leslie and the girls are getting like hotter on their trail and figuring out what's going on, while Shigure and Larry run into the girl again, and she shows them the way to the flower. And once they get the materials, this giant bird scarab shows up and like chases his own way, and it seems like more fascinated with the girl. So like they're like trying to protect the girl in the process. Leslie and the girls, they end up coming across the thugs, and the thugs lead them to the drug dealer, and the drug dealer kind of tells them what's going on. So they set off to the asylum. Shigure and Larry and the girl are all held up. Her name is Elsie. They're held up in this like little hideout. The birds just like circling around, and they said they can't stay there too long. So Shigure's like, "I'll be distraction." Or no, Larry's like, "I'll be distraction, and you save her." He's like, "Why do you get to be distraction? I'm perfect distraction because I don't feel fear." And it's like, "That's why I'm the perfect distraction," Shigure said, "because I do feel fear and I want to live and blah blah blah. So I'll do it." So they lure the bird out, and then they trap it in the trench, and then the bird like circles on. They end up trapped, and before the bird pounces, Leslie and the crew shows up in the car, hits it, I believe, and they all get in the vehicle and drive off. Um, Leslie slapped Larry and Shigure and lectured them, and um, they were after that. He meets up with Vera again, and like Shigure is thinking to himself, and he's like, if it's an option of saving many over one, of course I'm gonna save the many. So like that, he was with that mindset until the one turned out to be Elsie. Surprise, surprise! The assassination target is Elsie.
Yeah, so I think a couple other little notable things
How
that
dare you?
probably ain't gonna matter.
Just mention it during the thing,
Um,
Kirby.
yeah, I'm gonna
Cut me off if
say,
you need to.
nah, dog, I can't. You got to keep your steam rolling like an engine that could.
Mm.
But yeah, so yeah, the sixth mass. I think the guy he wants to change the definition of humanity, but I also think he's possibly a bad guy because of his
Yeah, he does.
conversations with his what you call him.
He does seem like he's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, but people won't know about it anymore. And then we find out that Larry's reason he wants to go figure out what the Randolph syndrome is. That's why he really accepted that guy's favor to go down there.
Oh yeah,
So
I may even wrote that down too, but too many words in here.
yeah.
My eyes are a
So
little on the heavy side. Moving
and
on.
then
Oh, go ahead.
and then Elise is actually in exile. They're like people that got sent down there to live in asylum. So um yeah, for some reason it doesn't affect them. I guess that might have been like the natural habitat or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's worth mentioning. But probably never speak on it again.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it and maybe it'll give me a flavor one day.
You won't.
How dare you?
You got a billion trillion other things you'd rather do to be watching that TV show with you.
I got 99 problems, deep insanity in one. Oh.
Moving on to Aristocrats' Otherworldly Adventure,
Uh,
serving gods who go too far. Kain, the Rookie Adventurer.
hit me with it. Hit me with the over the topness.
So, yeah, so my boy Cayenne, he let's see, he what is it, Tanya, Terra? Oh, we find out that the first king was was it?
Japanese.
Yeah, I think it was Tani, Terra, Hirasawa.
It was definitely a
Um,
Japanese name.
yeah, it was. Uh, he was reincarnated as well. Something happened. Um, so then Silk and Tellus show up while he's reading, and he has to like fake hide the book and like, oh no, you can't see my Emperor level magic. So we find out my boy Cayenne turns 12 today, and he registers at the guild. And so one of the things they have to do, like all the other magical things, like they test you like your power or whatever, and he has to drop a blood at there, and it's supposed to like read your magical power based off your blood. And I'm like, wouldn't that reveal that he has like emperor level magic? Unless that conceal spell conceals the blood too. Like I was like, hold on, or did he just suppress his magical power? What do you think about that part?
Um, I don't know. It's just always over the top. It's just like nothing really surprises me, gets me confused. I'm just like, it's just Cayenne. It's just gonna make him over the top.
Yeah, well, I was thinking like everyone should be like, what? Look at all his magical power, but that didn't even happen.
No, and they're
Um,
just like it's so like here's what's really weird about this show. It's like they have these dramatic reactions, but then there's like nothing after. There's just like okay, okay. It's like what? Okay, what? Okay, and like there seems to be no like so like other shows when like you have an OP character that surprises you, it becomes more like it's really it'll be more surprising if he didn't surprise me at this point. You know what I mean? That's how like characters get, and it's just like
mhm.
the dramaticness is gone from it, and it's also like other shows develop some plot by now.
Yeah,
So it's like I don't know. It's just everything just always seem over the top for no reason.
yeah,
And it's not even that like I'm not enjoying the show. It's just like I think it just needed different actors or to like change it. It was just like if I had to put it in words, I feel like the author got caught up in like I'm gonna put a whole bunch of like oh my god moments in there. It's like, but it's not. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm being a little too hard on it.
You might be.
I enjoy it though. I'm enjoying the show.
Are you though?
Yeah, I wanted to watch the next episode.
Do you though?
I did.
Interesting. Very.
I can't wait to see how over the top it is next episode. Like, I want to see what episode we get something heavy.
Yeah. So then yeah, my thought was like I was like, gosh, his whole thing should have just blew up the whole guild, but it didn't.
Hmm.
So then he gets accosted by some bozos. They try to attack him. He dodges swiftly. And Red Hair Shanks comes along to help scare them off. But my man's like, man, you got some really good moves. Like, you probably didn't need me to handle those little rascals back there. And we find out that this guy, his name is Claude, and he's from the Ice Flame. And what Lemmy is his wife, and she shows up, and he gets kind of he bought a beer, not a beer, a juice for the boy, and he started drinking, and she kind of gets mad at him. But yeah, so then my man accepts a quest to go to the forest to slay goblins.
Yeah.
And then Tawana accompanies him because she's there. Like all his fiancés just show up out of nowhere, and they go to the forest and they start the fighting. And then green lizards show up. I think someone needed help, and he's like, "Oh, you get them while I fight these green lizards." And he pretty much blew up all the green lizards, which was a whole nother contract that his two teachers had accepted but no longer can do. And I was like, dang, Kyan always messing up some stuff. So then he gets back to the guild and he's like, hey, who can I claim for this or whatever? And some old man, he's like, oh, let me talk to you, Kyan, about this stuff. So they go up to like the guild room. He's like, you're lying. You didn't do that. You're a cheater. This, that, and the other. You're terrible. Blah 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 blah. And then the guild master steps in, like, what's going on here? And he lays out, like, why are you doing that to Baron Cayenne? And he's like, Baron? I had no idea.
Over the
And
top.
yeah, and so then the guild master proceeds to lay into him, like, oh, this is the guy that slayed those 50 monsters to save the princess. And da, da, da. And meanwhile, the guy's just like quivering in his boots. So, but yeah, so then my boy Cayenne get bumped to A rank. And he gets to go in adventures, but he has to like I think when he has to do one thing that like dispels something, and he has to do that to really be an A rank adventurer, which is just a formality. Um, but yeah, and then we find out that the Aryan seal is going to break after 300 years, so that's why the gods gave him all those powers.
Yeah, they need to soup him up. That's like the first thing we got that like implied. Oh, it might get good in a. It's gonna get good soon.
It's probably not going to get good to next season.
Yo, that's crazy to me. They can't wait to next season, bro. We saw the first of all a couple things we haven't seen. The little creatures in the opening scenes. The it looks like a dragon, but it's not. I don't think it's a dragon. Maybe a fox or something. I forget.
Hmm.
And we see him older. He's older at some point.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see.
we shall see because I'm not too sure.
Did you want to talk about Jujutsu?
If you didn't read it, then no.
I read it.
Okay, then we can talk about jujitsu.
Go ahead, because I'm going to be talking a lot on next
So,
for
so we get the Maharaga. We get the backstory how it can adapt to like any enemy attack, and we get a little bit of how Sukuna has the burden of adaptation. It's some little technique that if you get hit with a bunch of attack a bunch of times, then you eventually figure out to become immune to it. Uh, and then we see, I think Megumi's soul comes out a little bit, which is kind of sad. But
So
hopefully, I was like, man,
it was like you can't use what's the creature called? What?
Maharaga.
Maharaga. Like Maharaga comes with like he adapts, but he needs to be hit in the first place. And
Hmm.
that's what the curse of adaptation is. But like Sukuna used Megami's soul to overcome the adaptation part, so that Maharaga could just straight up take
Yeah,
the hit.
the Gojos. Yep.
Yeah, I read. I be
Yeah.
reading.
Sometimes you do.
You right.
Yeah. So then we find out Gojo can't open this domain. He tried to, and his nose and ears started bleeding. I was like, oh Lord,
And then we learned
man.
something crucial about domains and cursed energy.
Yeah. About how the you can't really heal a burnt out. Well, he couldn't open this thing because he kept resetting out a burnout technique, which are hard to heal. So that's kind of why he got his nosebleed. So
Yeah, apparently it damages your brain.
yeah, your frontal lobe or frontal cortex. And then Sukuna tries to open up a domain so he can get Gojo. Then his eyes and face just start bleeding. I was like, "Oh no, what happened?" And Gojo's like, "Yeah, it worked. I got him for like 10 seconds."
It's like, oh, you hurt too.
Yeah.
That infinite void
So
must feel like a lot in 1 second.
yeah. So
Fight. The fight will continue.
so the fight continues,
Yep.
and it's exciting. Can't wait for it.
So does Weak Heroes Fight. Weak Heroes Fight is also continuing. It's been like wow. It's like so like your thing was like bullying in the school. Like that honestly stops. It's it gets very Tokyo Revenger-ish after damn. So Villain Saga, right? This fucking guy. Episode 3, Troll. So, oh, stop. they don't. They don't. You're just using all of them.
Continue.
Is there one missing? Is there one missing? I heard 5. Isn't there 6?
Continue, dog. Keep going.
Okay, episode 3, Troll. I'm scared to talk. Floki offered 5 pounds of gold for Thor's dead body. Fucking hell. It's been 15 years since Thor's deserted the Joms. And dude is requesting 5 extra pounds of gold in advance to take care of the job. And Floki was like, "Are you sure you're in any position to be demanding stuff?" And then his a spear came flying in. He was like, "Whoa!" It's like, "Oh, sorry, that one got away from me." It's like, "Oh, you're drinking too much." And I was like, "Nah, I'm pretty sure that spear was a show of power." So then once Floki agreed to the 5 extra pieces of gold, pounds of gold, and he was convinced that like the spear was on purpose, we then realized that behind the spear was one of Floki's guys hiding and waiting to attack if necessary. I'm like, oh, okay. So after that power play, Floki wasn't really giving too much information on Thor, so like I feel like Floki doesn't really care who lives or dies. He wants Thor's to die, but like doesn't really care if Askeladd does it. What do you think?
Say it again.
I'm saying Floki was very vague with Askeladd or Askeladd with like information for Thor's, and like he was very suspicious of that. So like in my head, like Floki does want Thor's dead, but he doesn't really care if Askeladd successfully does it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um,
Yeah, I think it's just. I think the leader wants him back, but Floki's like, "Oh, I'm going to enforce our chivalrous honor code. Doesn't matter why or when you left. You got to die because I'm Floki and I'm a true Viking."
so like they were talking about like how much time passed since Thor's last, and it's like, well, yeah, if it's 15 years have passed, but like some things are just instinct. Like a wolf is gonna behave like a wolf, and Thor's, from what I can tell, he's still built like a Viking. So I'm pretty sure he ain't lost his touch.
You don't know. What if he's better than what he is now?
Maybe. And then like upon further inspection of like the opening, it looks like that like Thorfinn is with Askeladd at some point. But later in the episode, I'm gonna talk about how like I'm really curious on how that came to be. So once we go back to Thor's side of everything, it looks like the whole fucking village boys are obsessed with Ilva, and I'm talking about Adi and all of them. Ari and all of them just want like the hand of Ilva when they come back. So Thor's plans on he was only taking 5 with him, and everyone's questioning like, is 5 going to be enough? And like Thor says, 5 is enough. And upon further inspection of the plan, he plans on leaving the 5 kids in, and he's bringing with him in Norway. Can't take more because what's his name? Leaf can't fit more than 5 people on his boat with the cargo. So that's why that's that. And but like I had a feeling right like even after that I was like they're probably all gonna die. And once they got on the boat, Thor's family was saying bye to him, but the orphan wasn't around, and he was just like, "It is what it is," and like his wife knew what he was trying to say, and it's like, "I'll tell him." So they get in the boat, and like the 5 kids have little oars. They're all on the right side or the left side, sitting backwards, and then Thor is on the other side with one big ass oar, and like he is just like manhandling these kids. And the one I think Ari was like, "Nah, what are you guys doing? Row, we gotta keep this thing straight." Well, turns out when they got far enough, Thor's just talking to the kids, and then like a voice comes out, "Are we too far to go forward?" And it's like, or to go backwards, and he answers like, "Yeah." It's like, wait, that voice. Thorfinn comes out the barrel. It's like, "Thorfinn!" And he was like, "Not now, Pops. I gotta pee." And my man was just peeing into the water.
Yeah.
Thor's wanted to yell at him, but he was just like this. I didn't know what he did. He was just like, kind of like had a sigh and he smiled. But then, it seemed like he couldn't even be mad. But then after that, he was spanking him.
Yeah. He did.
Yeah, so we go back over to Askeladd, and he's suspicious of the job because Floki has too many secrets, and like he's heard about Thor's, and if they really want him dead, they would have went after and killed him, but too much time has passed. Um, Askeladd thinks Floki might have hired him because Floki knows that he can't win in a battle with Thor's, and then we go back over to our crew and they couldn't really tell where they were going, and Ari was impressed with Lee's ability to navigate, but he does it often, so I'm pretty sure as a ship cargo a cargo that as a guy who like transports cargo through the water, he's probably very familiar with the waters. What was interesting to me is when you zoomed in out on the map, right? If I don't know if
Hmm.
you noticed, but there was like 3 huge creatures on the map.
Hmm.
It was just like they talked about one creature, but like, are these other 2 for them to be on the map? I don't know. But I was impressed with Leaf's abilities to navigate the seas, and then was looking. He was looking into the ocean at night, but Thor stopped him and he said, "Don't stare into the water at night. It'll pull you in." Um,
Don't tell me what a good time.
Thor's and Ari were having a heart to heart about Ylva, and like he said how when he was still a Viking and Ylva was born, he didn't really give her a name at first, and the way he was holding poor Ylva, like no head support or nothing, and it was just like, a girl, like this won't be useful to me, and they like gave her back to Helga and like walked away, and Helga was like, "Hey, Thor's, name this child," and it was like, I can't be bothered. You do it. And then Helga got mad. It was like, Helga, or no, Thor's, name this child. And he was like, that's the first time she ever saw her pissed. So she was like, he gave her the name Ilva after his mom, named her after her mom. After that,
Yeah.
that's when we see the map with the creatures, and I was like, yo, the creatures on this map are wild. Like, if you run into one, you probably ain't surviving. They were making it to their destination, but Leaf noticed something was different. Like there were less people on the shore, and Thor's had a bad feeling about what was going on. So he said they should turn around. And once they made the decision to turn around, and the guys, Askeladd's crew noticed, they blocked off escape, and that's when the guys were preparing for battle. Thor's gave Thorfinn his knife and said only use it if you absolutely need to. And then that's when Thor's grabbed his sword and he fucking jumped from their
Shit,
ship
man. A sheep.
all the way to the other. I was like, bro, that is a leap. And that's when he began to lay the can of whoop ass on all of them without the sword. He just was one by one, boom, down, boom, down, boom, down, boom, down. And I think you were. I remember the one guy like us, the guy who threw the spear earlier at Floki's guy. I think he was the one that was shaking out of shock, and then Askeladd was like excited. So yeah, that was that episode. So yeah,
Decent episode there.
yeah. Actually, honestly, good, great series. Now there's the second season. Well, I'm a little sad I waited so long to watch it.
I ain't sad at all. Never get sad.
Yeah, it's you like to see with all the like repeatable stuff like that are coming out, like all the isekais, all the and even webtoons are getting a little repetitive too with the concept of um, people becoming hunters and like dungeons and portals that like you gotta close it because monsters comes out, things like that. S rank hunters and stuff like that. Even that is becoming repetitive on the like Korean manga side. Manhwa, I'm sorry. But do you have anything you want to talk about, Irby?
Yeah. I've been watching this new series, The Adventures of Dai. I
Mm-hmm.
would say that I think it's written very well. I feel like there's a whole lot of elements I see gathered from like other shows, ideas. Well, not really other shows' ideas, but like I like the way they do this. Like my boy Die, um, he's fighting in the thing, and he knew the concept of the move, but like while fighting the villain, like he starts developing like the actual like understanding and how to use it. So I'm like, oh, that's a good one. Where it's not like he just like, oh, you don't see my man training, but he gets this move that all of a sudden just lets him just whoop the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I like it. Character development stories, pop, he gets a little better. Uh, so yeah, it's a good one. I am enjoying it.
So I'm reading a couple new webtoons just because I'm like caught up with everything. And they all have very similar concepts. Like I said, like the webtoons, the manhwas, they're all like writing this hunter trope.
Continue, sir.
And I saw that coming.
You did.
I did.
You did. Yeah.
Yeah, I just stopped at and. Um so yeah, like they'll have like things they do differently, like so like with solo leveling, right? The hunters awoken to like counteract the portals. Like when the gates came, so did hunters. And the max level newbie, it was when this guy beat a game, the game became real, and he became hunters, and like they have to beat the levels, blah blah blah. This one, the other one I'm reading, this guy, he wanted to be a hunter, he trained to be a hunter, but like he didn't have it in me, and then like he suddenly got transported into a world, and he levels up by doing the stages, and he's OP that way. This other one, he's like a crazy OP magician, and like he's quickly becoming like top rank, and he's always OP. And again, this is like based off a game that he played. It's all like, because you enjoy it, like isekais. Like we've watched multiple isekais, and a lot of them are really good. A lot of these are really good, but like you don't really get too many different ones. Once you get past like how they level up, it's still like the same concept.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's all. Did you have anything else you wanted to say, Herb?
Nope, that was it. I
Crickets,
enjoyed
crickets.
it. Yep.
Alright, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll catch you next week. Peace!
Peace.